Meanwhile, Russian aggression in Ukraine continues unabated. Even a month after the first violation, Ukraine has been resilient in its defense. The world has initially, in fact, it was a fence-sitter, but as Putin's army really marched on other countries too, they've now started to pull together. Many countries have joined military aid to arm Ukraine in its defense and, of course, to fight for its freedom. Let's have a look.
Yet a country with just 2 lakh active military personnel has been able to stand up to a behemoth Russian army that has sophisticated weaponry at its command. A large part of that fierce resistance comes from the swift transfer of military equipment by NATO and other allied countries. In a first, the 27-country bloc of the European Union signed off a $551 million package to help arm Ukraine. Germany has rewritten its long-standing policy that barred exporting weapons into war zones. Germany sent 1,000 anti-tank weapons, 500 Stinger anti-craft defense systems to Ukraine. Within days of the invasion, France reportedly promised to send military aid to Ukraine, but there's no publicly disclosed specifics of it. The United Kingdom has so far sent 2,000 short-range and anti-tank missiles, SAXON armored vehicles, and SABRE air defense system with 100 military operators. The US so far has been the largest contributor with 1,400 Stinger anti-aircraft missile systems, 4,600 JAVELIN anti-tank missiles, 5 Mi-17 helicopters, 3 patrol boats, 4 counter-artillery and counter-drone tracking radars, 2,000 light anti-armor weapons, 300 grenade launchers and ammunition. They've also sent 600 shotguns and 600 machine guns, 5,000 rifles, 1,000 pistols, 25,000 sets of body armor, 25,000 helmets. The US has so far sent nearly 40 million rounds of small arms ammunition, over 1 million grenades, mortar and artillery rounds, along with 70 Humvees and other vehicles, 6,000 at 4 anti-armor systems and 1,000 switchable drones.
I'm grateful to US President Biden for new effective aid for our country. You should understand that I can't reveal all the details of this package of aid and others. This is our defense tactic when the enemy doesn't know what to expect from us.
Justin Trudeau has been the next big military aid contributor in arming Ukraine after Joe Biden. Canada has sent nearly 4,500 M72 rocket launchers, 1,600 fragmentation vests, nearly 7,500 hand grenades. Other than that, it has also contributed $1 million to buy commercial satellite high-resolution and modern imagery, machine guns, pistols and carbines. Canada has sent 1.5 million rounds of ammunition, sniper rifles and various related equipment worth $7.9 million to Ukraine so far. It has also contributed $19.9 million in military aid that could include helmets, body armor, gas masks and night vision gears. From Asia, Japan has sent bulletproof vests and helmets to Ukraine, and South Korea too has contributed to the war effort. The next door neighbor for both Russia and Ukraine, Poland has reportedly contributed tens of thousands of shells and artillery ammunition, anti-aircraft missiles, light mortars and reconnaissance drones. All 3 Baltic and Scandinavian countries too have contributed with military aid to arm Ukraine, as has other European countries. Australia and New Zealand have come with major military donations for Ukraine. But for now, all this help from around the world has not been able to convince Putin's army to back down. The war continues and destruction abounds.
Let me quickly cut across to Igor Popov, senior expert, Ukrainian Institute for the Future, joining us. Igor, appreciate your time. Here we see the kind of wrath that's unleashed in most parts of Ukraine. It's very heartbreaking to see that this country that once struggled to attain status of democracy, decades later is now back to square one. You all are fighting for your rights, for freedom. We see that the West is now coming together to really stand by you, but where do you see Ukraine's future in days to come? It's 29 days of war. Do you still believe that you will win?
For sure, we believe that we will, because we protect our land, and for sure military equipment from our Western partners is important, but the most important is the will of our people. And we struggle for our land, and it's not only about our military forces. Even peaceful population on occupied territories still continue their resistance. It's non-violence resistance. I'm sure people of India understand what is non-violence resistance and how effective it could be. That's why sooner or later we will achieve our goals, and Russian troops will go out from our country.
Right, Igor, thank you very much. We know that Russian troops right now are inching closer to several key cities. As much as they're trying to unleash the wrath, Ukrainians putting up stiff resistance. Igor giving us an understanding on the spirit and the courage that Ukrainians right now have, even on the 29th day of war. Now, cutting across to United States President Joe Biden, who's on a 4-day trip to Europe amid no end to Russian hostilities in Ukraine. Biden is currently in Brussels, Europe, to reaffirm Western alliances amid Russian aggression. Biden will be heading to Poland on Friday. United States President will be attending NATO G7 and European Union summits. He's also expected to impose new sanctions against Russia during his visit. Russia's actions in Ukraine has isolated Russian troops there further and returned the world to times of Cold War. The war has now put Russia in direct confrontation with the United States, while Putin now warning the West not to interfere with its invasion, or they would have to face grave consequences.